Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for joining. Today, we're going to be discussing how to use Odoo to power complex multi-location retail experiences for business, including Omnichannel through Odoo's flexible and adaptable ERP architecture. Today, we have Kevin Zaki, the head of our mid-market and enterprise team. He will be monitoring the chat for questions. Dominique Caldwell, one of our solutions architects, will be presenting the Odoo demo. And then I'm Dan Filicamo, I'm an account executive. And I'm going to start with a quick intro, a presentation about Odoo and how we're positioned for retail. So quick agenda, I will begin with this introduction, and then Dominique will take over for the product demonstration, and we will end with a little bit of time for question and answers. So first, we want to talk about how companies typically choose pieces of software and what software to implement. The traditional mindset is to identify a problem and to try to solve that problem. What typically happens in these cases is that you choose a solution that can solve the individual problem that you're having. And while logical and smart, it does create complexity because what the result ends up being is what we see on the right-hand side of the screen here, which is a fragmented and disjointed stack of multiple applications trying to be integrated together through custom code. And this creates complexity in your software technology as well as your workflows. So how Odoo aims to solve that problem. First, we try to fix the platform. Rather than trying to solve the symptoms of the issue, we try to solve the core issue itself, which typically comes from not having something that's fully unified. So with Odoo, we like to start with a clean, unified core where all of your data lives. Keep your business critical data, including products and customers, native into one platform, and integrate only where it adds value. And this is an important point because typically businesses look at integration as a strategic approach rather than what it should be, which is something to add value into an already stable program. So next, what companies typically come to Odoo for? Odoo's a fully connected ecosystem, meaning in our core application of our enterprise edition of Odoo, we have over 80 out-of-the-box applications that all integrate natively out of the box. So this helps with replacing disjointed, siloed one-off solutions, as well as replacing legacy ERPs that are complex and not scalable as your business continues to grow and have new needs. We try to simplify your tech stack. That often looks like many solutions duct taped together through API integrations and custom code, which then therefore increases the technical debt and complexity of your software stack and leads to unpredictability from both a cost and a functionality standpoint long term. Companies come to Odoo because we offer more control. You always own your data with Odoo. Because Odoo is so open and flexible, that means that as you need new functionality, you're not waiting for the vendor to release a new feature. You can implement and optimize and customize those features based on your unique needs at the time you need them. Overall cost reduction because of our licensing models, simple, transparent, and straightforward. We can reduce your software costs by being more cost effective than a lot of the legacy ERPs, as well as reducing the total number of subscriptions that you have to pay for each of the disjointed tools that you would be using. And companies come to Odoo because they're looking for a vendor, or a partner, not just a software vendor. Odoo enables the companies that use it. We provide direct implementation resources, train you and your staff on how to use the software, implement it initially so that you're seeing the value you would expect to see and you're getting what you pay for. And below you see a quote. Our goal and our mission as a company from the inception has been to help companies grow. Our founder and still CEO today, Fabian, built this tool because he wanted to offer usable technology and powerful technology to companies that previously didn't have access to that, and focusing on ensuring that users are able to adapt and use this technology in meaningful ways. So what you're looking at here is a number of different applications that Odoo can replace. Typically, you're either starting with a fragmented, disjointed stack of different technologies, or you have one core application like you see at the bottom, a typical legacy ERP, that you have to add on features because ERPs traditionally do not have a lot of the other functionality that businesses and modern businesses especially need. That can include things like marketing tools, point of sale, e-commerce, HR, CRM, and otherwise. Another benefit of Odoo is that it's completely scalable and mobile friendly. It's a cloud-based solution that is scalable to any device. So meaning your business is accessible anywhere you need to access your business data, and allows you to make decisions in an agile way in an ever-increasing world of complexity. Why Odoo is uniquely positioned for retail. So we've seen some of the applications on the other screen. Odoo is more than a traditional ERP. We take what other ERPs consider peripheral applications and have implemented those into our core stack of out-of-the-box applications that are available in one platform. And because of the way data is shared across the system, meaning when you input a product into the system, it's available in point of sale and e-commerce with just a simple checkbox. That means that when your data lives in the system, if you want to add features and add applications, it increases the value of Odoo, but not the complexity of your implementation. You're not introducing new API integrations when you need to activate a new feature and integrate a new part of your business into your overall platform. Why Odoo is an omnichannel solution. One product catalog, meaning you create your product in the system. Dominique will show a little bit more later about how a product created in the system becomes available to sell in your point of sale, as well as your e-commerce and through your other sales channels, reduces and eliminates any issues with syncs and discrepancies across inventory tracking, your stock levels. It unifies your customer data into one single solution, meaning that you can spend less time getting data from one system to another and more time doing what your business needs to do in order to be successful. So what are some of the challenges that Odoo has solved? So here we have a list of different functionalities that we've implemented for large retailers that are using Odoo. Things from lease management to fulfillment scenarios, and completely unifying the omni-channel experience, whereas typically you may have, the e-commerce functionality set up so your customers can buy online, and a point of sale functionality so that your customers can buy in store. However, from a customer standpoint, they don't notice the discrepancy and inefficiency among systems, but that is felt in the back end. So things like buy online, pick up in store, buy online and return in store, ensuring that inventory is routed intelligently from the correct fulfillment centers, ensuring that branch level accounting is able to be tracked in a way that allows you not only to see the financial health of your individual branches, but as well as the overall corporate financial health. These are different solutions that we've helped solve previously for some of our customers. And then on the right-hand side, again, trying to make it easy to use for staff so that the realities of your business are able to be handled in an intelligent way in the software that you use to manage. So just quickly, a little bit about the Odoo tech stack. So Odoo is open. It's built on open technology, including Postgres, Python, OWL, and being that everything is open and being that you have control over the languages or the languages that the software is written in means you have control over the technology. This increases the extensibility of Odoo and allows you to fully scale the system and grow the system as your needs evolve. And because the platform is simple, it means that when you extend it, those functionalities that you develop are now better suited to be maintained long term. And quickly before I pass to Dominique, I just wanted to talk briefly about Odoo as a company. For those of you watching this today who are not familiar with Odoo, we are a truly global company. Over 7,000 employees worldwide, over 130,000 enterprise clients, over 15 million users, and we are localized from a language and compliance standpoint in over 150 countries. So now I will pass to my colleague Dominique, and she will be presenting a demo to discuss what I've shown and to show what I've discussed and to introduce you to Odoo as a product.
Hi everyone, my name is Dominique Caldwell. I'm a solutions architect on the mid-market and enterprise team here at Odoo, and today I'm going to be taking you through our product demonstration. So we're going to be showcasing to you how Odoo can streamline all of your retail operations, whether that be through e-commerce sales, point of sale instances for all of your physical registers, as well as any inventory management needs that you may have. We're going to go through quite a bit in the next 40 minutes, so as you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, we do have somebody monitoring those for you, and as we have time at the end, we'll be able to address some live as well. To get us started, I'm going to click into the inventory application. So what you'll notice is we have all of these different applications and modules loaded right here on our home screen. We're able to hone in on one area of our system and complete work in that specific area. But because all of Odoo's apps are interconnected, any of the data that we are updating within that application will flow down into the other ones as well. So we'll see all of that happen in real time. What you're seeing on our inventory screen right now is a dashboard of all of your fulfillment needs. So whether you need to fulfill any online orders or in-store orders, any of the shipments that you're going to get in from your vendors, those are all displayed to you here on this dashboard. We're going to first focus in on creating a new product. And as Dan mentioned, we are going to be able to see how we are able to make a product one time, and then that's going to be available across all of your channels. So we'll see how that flows seamlessly into your e-commerce, point of sale, and the back end of your system as well. Here you're seeing a Kanban view of all of the different products that are currently in your catalog. Now, if I want to create a new one, I'll go up to this action button here in the top left-hand corner. When I select new, I'm going to be given a new product record form. This is where I'm going to be able to manage any of the important data for this record. So let's say I want to create just a simple t-shirt. I'll come in, give my product a name. And as you can see, we have many different data points that we're going to be able to manage. Say we want to put in a sales price or maybe a cost that you get from your vendor, as well as any product images that you are going to have available on your e-commerce site or within your point of sale as well. Now I can save all of those changes. And then any of those changes that I'm making are being tracked in the chatter over here on the right-hand side in real time. So this is going to act as your audit log. We'll expand more on that in a little bit, but basically what you're seeing is every change that is being made, exactly when it's being made, and who made that change. So you have full traceability. As I continue on, say I want to specify some different attributes for that product. So for something like a t-shirt, you might want to specify the sizes that you're going to sell. I can come in, select that attribute, and then go in and add my values. Now for a t-shirt, it'll be things like small, medium, large. I'll make those selections here. And then, for instance, maybe I want to include any additional colors as well. So I'll go ahead and type in color, and I'll make my selections there. Now, when I go ahead and press save, what you may notice is at the top of our screen, we have many different smart buttons that are going to link us into other areas of the system that pertain to this record. As I was defining these different attributes, we have variants that are being created throughout the system. So this is going to be taking every combination of those specifications and those options that you're providing to your customers. Continuing on, how do we get this on our e-commerce platform? Well, if I click into my sales tab here, what you're going to see is all of the e-commerce specific settings that we have available. We'll talk more about upsells and cross-sells a little bit later, but specifically to get this product onto our e-commerce shop, simply all I need to do is press this Is Published button here. Now what has happened is this Go to Website preview has turned green, just indicating to me that this product is now live on my website. Now I can make any additional selections that I may need, like product category, if I want to sell when it's out of stock or not, or if I want to show limited quantities. You can make all of those updates on a product-to-product basis. Similarly, for your point of sale, if you want to get this product into your physical stores, you'll go up and you will just select that you want to sell this through your point of sale. And then you're going to get this extra tab here that says point of sale, of course. And when you click in, you're going to have any POS specific settings here, such as your category that you'll see. Now what we can do is we can click on our Go to Website preview, and you're going to be seeing what this would look like from the customer view. So right away, we just made one product template together. This is going to be available for your customer to view and begin ordering right away in real time. Now I'm just going to go back into our home page here, and we're going to shift gears a little bit, and now we're going to take a look at what your overall website is going to look like from a customer's perspective. So I'm just going to switch my window. And here what you're seeing is an Odoo website. Now this was built with our AI website builder, as well as some drag and drop elements. Not claiming to be a web designer, but if I can do this in just a few minutes using our out-of-the-box tools, just imagine what it would be able to look like, with a professional design team. As I scroll down from a customer's perspective, you're able to see all of those different elements. So we have our carousel here that is going to display any promotions that we may have going on. Also, any of our product categories where we're able to click in specifically to that area and begin shopping, as well as our specific products that we're offering as well. And you'll notice that as I scroll through, those are all those same products that were available in my catalog. Now, if I go into my shop icon, for example, through that menu, I'm going to be able to see all of the different products that I am managing, and I also have my different categories that I can drill down into. We saw on that main page that we had a promotion 10% off of home goods. If I want to go into any of my home products, I can simply click on that category, and I'll be able to see all of the products that are categorized under my home goods here. You'll see that you're able to search for all of those products specifically within this category. You can change how you're sorting. So here we have our featured products. I can change it price high to low. You see that'll change the order. And then we have our filters over here on the side. So any of those attributes that we were defining within the system, you're going to see all of those that have been published on here. For example, if I want to hone in on products that come in a specific scent, I'll be able to make that selection, and then my list is going to be refined with just those products. Now, let's say I'm logged in as my customer. I'm in my customer account, so we're going to be acting as Lorelei Gilmore here. And as I click in to my scented candle, what you are going to see is the product form. So this is going to pull from all of those same fields that we were just defining for that t-shirt. So you're going to see, of course, the product name, any product images, as well as any attributes that we have associated. You can see as I move on to additional selections, you can have different media that's available for each scent, and each combination of your different variants will be able to have different media available. As I continue to scroll down, you'll also see that we can have additional photos or videos, whatever e-commerce media you want to include on your website as well. You're also going to be able to see what our different fulfillment options are going to be. So here in this database, we have the option for click and collect or buy online, pick up in store, however you refer to it within your organization. So that's going to allow us to purchase products online and then complete out the transaction in a point of sale terminal. We also have our standard delivery option here. For this first flow, we're going to be starting off with standard delivery. Also from here, you can see that you can update your quantities, add this product to cart, add it to wish list, or compare against other products as well. So let's say I want to go ahead and add this to my cart. Once I go ahead and do that, you can see that I have some additional options that have been made available. Those are those cross-sell and upsell products that I was showcasing a little bit earlier with the t-shirt. This would be a good place to put, any extended warranties or protection plans that may be available with your products. I'll go ahead and add these coasters as well, and I'll add both of those products to my cart. So you'll see my cart icon, I have 2 products in there currently. Now, if I want to go back to all of my products, let's say now I want some clothes, I can go into apparel, and you'll also see any subcategories available as well. So as I scroll down, you might have all of your products in there, and then we continue on into any of the other merchandise that we may have available. But instead of just going into each product category, you may want to search for that product specifically. So if I go in and I say, tumbler, for example, we'll be able to click into a specific product and go directly to that product page without having to, navigate and click multiple times. Here you'll be able to see all of that same information as before, our different delivery methods. And as I scroll down, you'll also be able to see another option that we have available for you, all of our recommended products that are at the bottom of the page. So this might be any products that, other customers are frequently purchasing, things that naturally will go together. So what I'll do is, again, I'm going to go ahead and add this product to my cart. And now once I go and view the cart here, what we'll notice is that even though I only added that insulated tumbler, I do have a promotion going on where when you purchase that tumbler, you get a free product of those stainless steel straw sets. So just to showcasing to you all of the different, loyalty programs, promotions that you may be running, they're all configurable within the system and will be available within your e-commerce platform, point of sale, or both. So you can specify. We can also see that for our 10% off of home goods, that is within our cart as well. And we're taking 10% off just those specific products. Now continuing on, if we had a gift card, we could input the code there. We could also do any discount codes. So I have one in the background. If I go ahead and press Tumbler 5 and apply that discount code, we can see that that has now been successfully added to my cart. And we can see that we're getting 5% off that specific product. So again, completely configurable to whatever promotions you may be running. I can continue through the checkout process. So I'll select checkout here, and then again, you'll see those different delivery options available. So here we have our standard delivery. This is going to be our first example. Our first flow is going to be through standard delivery. Something that I wanted to point out is there are many different ways that you'll be able to calculate this shipping cost. Right now, I have this calculating based off of shipping weight and shipping distance. You can also have it be a flat rate, or if I just increase this quantity here and continue on to my checkout, you'll see that I can instill logic as well that will allow the delivery to be free once you hit a certain subtotal. So completely configurable to whatever your business rules are. We'll do pickup in store a little bit later, but what I wanted to showcase is here, because I am already logged in as a customer, I have my address already saved. I can add additional ones, or I can go in and edit this one. And I can also signify whether or not I want to use a different billing address. So continuing on, we'll be able to press confirm, move forward into the process of payment. Now you can have all of your different payment methods listed here. Right now, I just have a credit card that is loaded for demo purposes. So it's just going to show us a successful payment, but any of the different methods that you want to display will be available. Now I'll go ahead and press pay now. Now our payment has been processed and we have a confirmation number for our sales order. We'll also be able to see this main confirmation page that your customer will be able to print out, keep for their records. All of these orders are also going to be available via their account as well. So they'll always be able to go in, see any of their past orders and their delivery status. And we'll see as we go through the fulfillment process what that looks like to get that tracking number and send that out to your customer. So now that we've placed this order online, I'm going to go back into our internal side of Odoo, and we're going to see what effects that had on our system. So if I click into my sales application, what you'll notice up here at the top is we have this order that was placed just now, sales order number 16. It's got that same reference number, and we have an insight into who the customer was. So in real time, this order flowed from our e-commerce site directly into our backend or our internal side of things. We're able to click in and see exactly what products she added to her cart, any discount codes that were used as well. And then what you'll notice is over here on the right-hand side for the chatter, as Lorelei was going in and adding all of those components to the cart, our total was going up and down as we added additional components as well. And that's all tracked in real time because she was logged into her account. We're also able to see any of the outgoing emails or text messages that we may have sent automatically upon order confirmation, as well as any payment information that we had gathered. So we can see here that she submitted her payment online. I do have selected that I would like to automatically create invoices within the system when this happens. That's so later on I will be able to go into my bank statement lines and reconcile this invoice against that line in my bank statement. Going back into my sales order, what you'll notice is we also have a smart button that will link us into our delivery for the fulfillment flow of this order. So I can link into that directly from here through that smart button as usual, and I'll be able to see what we are providing to the inventory team. But for somebody on the inventory team, they will likely be accessing this either through the inventory app or through the barcode application. Now, if I click into inventory, again, that's going to be bringing us back to that main dashboard view of all of the different operations that are scheduled across our main distribution center or all of our stores. As I scroll down, because we need to fulfill this order, go pick it off the shelves, package it up, and send it out the door, the first step is going to be our picking operation. And as I click into all of the orders that I need to fulfill, we do have Lorelei's here for sales order number 16. I'll click in, we'll be able to see all of those products that were included in her cart, including that free product here as well. Now it is worth mentioning at this point that we can either print out any of these picking operations and we can give our staff directions to exactly where in the warehouse those products are located. They can also complete this using the barcode application. Now I'm on a desktop view, but this is completely mobile responsive. So if you were using this on a smartphone or a barcode scanner, you can just imagine that it would be a little bit smaller and you would have those directions into those areas of your warehouse. You'd simply scan each one in, and then you'd be able to complete directly from that application. Since we're on a desktop, we're going to do this through our desktop view. I'm going to go ahead and press validate here just to confirm that this move is complete. So any of this work within the system is going to mimic those physical moves of goods, moving our stock from their stock locations to the packing zone. Now, because I have a multi-step delivery process turned on, I'm going to automatically be prompted to go into my next transfer, which is the packaging. However, I will point out that if I go back to my overview, that's also going to be populated here underneath my pack operation. So it's all available in real time in all of these different areas. As I click into my pack, again, we'll see that order for Lorelei. And we'll be able to come in here and take all of these products and put them in a package. You'll be able to select your package type. For our example, I'm going to use this medium flat rate box, but these are completely configurable. You'll see your shipping weight within here as well. This can be in pounds or kilograms. And when I go ahead and put that in a pack, you'll see that that is populated in my packages column or linked through my smart button here at the top. And now when I go ahead and validate this order, what is being prompted to me now is to send this to my shipper. Now, what that is going to do is take the shipping carrier that you have configured for this order, and it's going to generate the shipping label for you. Now, you can have this be automated. Really, any button that I'm clicking throughout this system, you can have automated. But by sending that off to my shipper, we'll see that in the chatter, we have our shipping label that was created along with our tracking number. Our tracking number also populated underneath our additional info and is available via this smart button as well for us to link into the carrier's system. Now again, as I continue on, once those products actually make their way out the door and the carrier picks up the package, I will be able to signify that systematically as well. And if you need to send out any automatic text messages or automatic emails, you'll be able to do that. As you can see in the chatter here, we've sent a text out to Lorelei, just letting her know her order's on her way. Okay, so now if I go back into my overview, we just went through an example of fulfilling one order, but each one of these can be added to a batch transfer or a wave transfer for you to be able to fulfill multiple orders at once. And if I go into the rest of the orders that I need to pick, as you can see, I'm seeing this bar graph of when everything needs to be completed. This is just giving you a bit of a visual insight into your timeliness of your tasks. So anything that's scheduled for the future is going to be in green. Anything that's scheduled for a date in the past is going to be in red. And anything scheduled for today is in orange. Now, for instance, with this picking, I can see that one is late. And we have one that's waiting. So that's going to be a red flag to me that maybe something's wrong with that order. I can click in through these hyperlinks and link directly into those orders that I want to investigate. So here I have an order for Lane Kim. I can open it up, and what I can actually see is this is our late order. It was scheduled to be fulfilled yesterday. However, I don't have these products available. So, as we go through, the fulfillment process and, ordering products from one store to the distribution center, you may run into the scenario where, you over reserve stock. It's just going to depend on your configurations here. So this is going to be an order we need to fulfill, and we're going to need to get those products back into our warehouse in order to ship it out. We can see through our source document that this was actually an in-store order. So Lane had gone to our Connecticut store, didn't find the product, and decided to ship it later through our distribution center. Now, how do I get this product back into my stock? Well, any of your forecasting and replenishment needs for whether it's just minimum stock levels or overstocks or over reservations will be available for you through your operations menu. And you can go into your replenishment report here. Now, from this replenishment report, this is just going to show you a list of all of the different products that you need to get into your various warehouses. So you can see underneath locations here, this is going to give you insight into your stock levels across many different areas. If I come up here and group by my warehouse, for example, I'll be able to hone in on just one specific warehouse that I need to fulfill. Sure enough, under our distribution center, we can see that knit scarf. We can see that we have -1 forecasted. We don't have any on hand, but we have an order where we are going to need to fulfill one scarf. For a little bit more of a complex example, we have this insulated tumbler here that we saw through our online ordering. If I go into the forecasted report, so I can see a breakdown of how we have 192 on hand, but we're forecasting 196. By opening up that forecasted report, I am greeted with a line graph that's just showing me my stock levels through time. Now, this is going to give you a breakdown of what you currently have on hand, what is incoming, and what is outgoing. And then all of that information is going to give you what your forecasted quantity is going to be. As I scroll down, you're going to see any orders that are reserving stock or any purchase orders that are out there that are bringing some stock in, as well as your stock that is free to reserve for any incoming orders. From this screen, you are also able to switch between warehouses. So if I wanted to take a look at what's available in my Connecticut store, for example, I'll be able to select that warehouse, and then again, that same view, just with data that's specific to that area. Now I'll go back to my replenishment report. And now each one of these products either has a reordering rule set up where I want to make sure that I have a minimum level of stock at all times or is driven by demand in some way. If I want to go through and replenish all of these products to my warehouse, I'll just go ahead and select them all. And then up here at the top, we have this order button. This is going to allow me to order all of those products at once, and the system is going to generate those purchase orders for me. Now, I just did that manually. I typically do this manually for demonstration purposes. However, you can see here that each one of these lines can be automated. So when your scheduler runs, typically on a daily basis, those purchase orders can be created automatically for you. So all of those lines have disappeared. Those purchase orders have been generated. If I exit out of inventory and I go into my purchase application, you'll see that I have 3 POs that were generated for me, and therefore all of the different vendors that were configured on those products. Specifically, that knit scarf is going to be coming from Apex Apparel. So if I click in, you'll be able to see that knit scarf. Of course, we could have ordered a larger quantity if we wanted to, but just to show you the fulfillment for this order, we'll take the direct demand. So from here, we can go ahead and send this RFQ off to our vendor via email. That will be logged in the chatter for you, and any external email communications will be logged in your Gmail or Outlook inbox as well if you connect them. So not only will you be able to see that through the Odoo record, but it will also live within your inbox for tracking any replies and things like that. For our example and for time purposes, I'm going to go ahead and confirm this order. And what that's doing is just signifying that the vendor has acknowledged that this stock is going to come in. We have an expected arrival date, which is going to schedule out that receipt for us. And that's automatically calculated based off of the vendor lead time that is configured on that product. So this smart button up here at the top, we can link directly into that receipt. Much in the same way our sales orders allowed us to connect directly into a delivery. So again, you could either click directly through that smart button, or your inventory team would be able to go into inventory and see all of those receipts that we are expecting. As I click into all of the orders I need to receive, that PO number 18 from Apex Apparel is going to be right here for me. I'll be able to continue through the process much in the same way that I did with a delivery, still pressing validate to get those products from one stock location to another. I can link into any additional transfers as well. And I can also use my barcode application to get those products into my stock. So many different options for you there. Once I do get that product into my stock, if I wanted to go back to that order that I needed to complete out for Lane, you can see that it's no longer waiting. It's ready for us to fulfill. That's because those products are now available in real time. So we can continue through that process for Lane, get her order packaged up, and send that out the door for her. Okay, so the other aspect of our replenishment report, not only can we create purchase orders, but we can also create any record that is going to replenish that product for you, whether that's a manufacturing order, if you manufacture anything in-house, or whether that be an intercompany or inter-warehouse transfer. So for these ones here, for our Connecticut store and our New Hampshire store, I'm actually able to fulfill these demands by getting these products from my distribution center. So if I went to order these products for Connecticut, as an example, instead of creating a purchase order, you'll notice now I have a receipt for my Connecticut store. I'm going to expect to get those products in at some point, and this is waiting on another operation. That's because we've also created a stock picking for our main distribution center. So we'll be able to go in and fulfill any of the needs for any of our stores directly from our main fulfillment center. Once you do get those products into stock for your stores, they will be available to sell online for buy online, pick up in store, or through your point of sale kiosk as well. Now we're gonna go into a workflow for one of those buy online, pick up in store scenarios. So again, I'll go back to my dashboard and back to that incognito window here. We are going to stay logged in as Lorelei. We're just going to create another order for her. But let's say we wanted to go in and we wanted to look for maybe a beanie. We could go ahead and select that product. You'll be able to see that we do have some available in store. If I go ahead and select my store, you'll see that I have some available in the Connecticut store, but we are out of stock in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. They're very far apart anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And we know that Lorelai is living in Connecticut, but you would be able to put in your zip code at this point, and then you would sort the list based off of the closest store to you. We're going to go ahead and choose this Connecticut store. We're going to add this product to our cart. And then let's say we want to add another product, maybe a travel coffee mug. We'll go ahead and we can see that our Connecticut store has already been chosen. So that is automatically populating for us just to go through that same flow as before. But you could always come in here and select a different store if necessary. We're going to go ahead and add that to our cart as well. And now when we go to view our cart, we don't have any of those discount codes or any of those promotional products loading just based off of our product selection. But if any of those applied, it would follow all the same logic. Now we can continue on with our checkout. And you can see here, you still have that option to switch to standard delivery if you want. However, we selected pickup in store on the product, so that's populated here for us. We're also able to come in here and change our store at the end if necessary. Now, instead of shipping information, we're collecting contact details. And then we can also select a different billing address as necessary. I'm just going to continue on through this process. Now you can see that we have actually additional payment methods that are available based off of how we're going to fulfill this order. So we do have the option here, again, for that demo credit card payment or to pay on site. So some of our customers refer to this as reserve online pickup in store, but this is going to allow you to have your customers settle their payment once they actually physically arrive to your store. So you could do it either way. I'm going to go ahead and just select that we're going to pay on site just to see a different payment method. And we're going to go ahead and press confirm. Now, instead of that, thank you, your payment has been processed status page, you're getting that we need to finalize our payment in store. Still getting thank you for your order, but there are just some additional steps that are going to need to be completed. That's still going to be available for her via her orders list as well, as you can see here. Now I'm going to go back into my internal instance. And what you're going to see is that as I click into my sales, again, in real time, we are seeing that sales order that was generated. If I click in to that order for Lorelai, what you're seeing is, again, the chatter is completely built out with all of the products being added to the cart, what the payment selection was, and any automatic communications. But what you'll notice is because we did not collect payment online, we don't have an invoice that was generated. There was nothing to generate that off of. We can manually create that at this time if we would like to, though. But we're still seeing this delivery option here. So even though we're not packaging this product up and shipping it out the door, we're still going to need to go to the store shelves, take it off the shelf and move it to an order pickup zone in order for Lorelai to pick up her order. So what we'll see is under inventory, this time we're going to be underneath our Connecticut store, and we're going to have a picking operation here. This is going to allow us to move those products from their stock locations into the order pickup zone. Now here it's those same products, the beanie and the travel coffee mug. If I go into my barcode app, you'll be able to see the exact areas of your store where they are located as well. And I'll be able to go ahead and do that through my barcode application if I would like, or again, through that desktop view, you can do the same thing. And that'll move those products from stock into order pickup. Now what we'll be able to see is underneath our in-store pickup orders, all of the different orders that are waiting for the customer to come in and say that they need to pick up their items, whether they need to register their payment or not at the time of sale. So we'll go ahead and exit out of inventory. And let's just say that Lorelai is going to come in and she's going to say that she needs to pick up those items. Now what your cashier will do, if they're in their point of sale application here, Right now, what you're seeing is a view of all of the different registers across all of my stores. I do have some favorited filters here that can refine us down into the different stores specifically. So for Connecticut, we have just registers 1 and 2. You can make that a default for each one of your stores, whether it's a desktop, tablet, whatever you may be using. Now, if I go ahead and open up my register, what we are going to see is that when I go to open, I can ask my employees to input their PIN code, or maybe you have them scan their badge, whatever your flow may be. And they are going to be prompted when the register is being opened to input whatever the opening cash value is going to be. They can go in and specify the specific bills and coins that are within there as well. And you can lock this down to managers if this is more of a managerial function. I'm just going to go ahead and open the register and just say it was the same amount of cash as was in there last night. And then what you're seeing is your point of sale terminal here. As people bring the different items up to your register, you'll be able to scan them in using your barcode scanner, or you can select each one of them here and they'll populate on the left-hand side. Now for a customer like Lorelei, if she's going to come into the store and say, you know, I have this order I placed online, I need to pick it up. We have this menu down here that will allow you to perform many different actions, one of them being to look up any quotations or orders in the back end. So here we have that order from Lorelei. We just have 2 populated right now, but you can imagine if you have, dozens or hundreds in there, you're going to need the ability to search by customer name. So I'll be able to go in and search for her. And as I select that order, I'm being prompted to settle it because payment's not been registered yet. And we can see on the left, all of the products that she has purchased are going to populate for me. You can grab them from the order pickup area, bring them up to the counter, and then move forward into the payment screen. Now, your payment options for your point of sale can vary even within the same store. They're all configured on a specific terminal instance. So for this one, we're able to collect cash, card, or charge to the customer account. Here, I'm just going to select card, just going to pay with a credit card, and we'll be able to confirm this order. We'll register the payment, and then here we have our receipt populating on the right-hand side. We can have this automatically print if you would like. You also have the option to manually print as well as send that receipt via email if the customer prefers. Now let's go through another example of an order before we leave point of sale. So I'll go into new order here. And then what we'll see is all of the different products that are available through that point of sale. We're going to see that t-shirt as well that we had created earlier. We'll just grab a couple of products here. Let's say for our coaster set, someone brings up some coasters, we scan those. Again, we have that 10% off of home goods that is coming off on these specific products. Maybe they want, sunglasses and a travel coffee mug, just adding a couple of products here. Now, as you can see directly from the screen, you can look up the customer to associate this to a customer account for, loyalty points. You can also go in and manually update the quantity of these products as well. So you're able to go in and either type all of that out through a keyboard like I'm doing, or you can use the touch screen as well. You can apply any percentage discounts or do price overrides as well. That can be locked down to a managerial basis if necessary. And of course, you're going to see all of the other options that we have available. So, you can process refunds, you can search for discounts, you can enter gift card codes, whatever function you need to do at the time of sale. Now we're going to proceed through to payment. And now for this one, let's do a different payment method. We'll go ahead and select cash. Let's say the customer hands us a $100 bill. Again, you could have typed this out on the screen. I'm just doing it through my keyboard here. And then our change is going to be calculated for us so we know what we need to return back to the customer. Again, at this time, you can associate this order to a customer, again, for those loyalty points. If there are any products that maybe you didn't have on hand that the customer still wants and they want them shipped to their house, you'd be able to select to ship later as well, like we saw with that example with Lane's order for that knit scarf. As I continue through to validate, again, it's going to be that same screen. We have our receipt over on the right-hand side. We can print the receipt from here. And because we're not associated with a customer account for this order, we're just going to be prompted to input the email, or we can have the customer do it in order to have that sent out to them via email instead. Okay. So now you can always go back to your list of orders as well and be able to load all of those back up onto your point of sale terminal. Now, if I ever wanted to lock the screen and go into the back end of Odoo, I would be able to do that through this icon. We also have this menu here that's going to give you some different options. We have a customer display, which they will see if you have, any additional screens facing them. We can switch into dark mode. You can process, cash in and cash out if you need to take any money out of the register or put additional change in. And then we can also go in and close the register out. So here, what we're going to see is a breakdown of all of the different transactions. I know we just had a couple for today, but they're going to be broken down by your cash transactions as well as your card transactions here, any payment methods that you had available. You're going to see your card count is going to automatically populate with the amount of money that was processed over credit card. And then you're also going to be able to come in here and do a cash count, much like when we opened the register. So if I wanted to specify the bills, let's say, there were 3 $100 bills, maybe 2 $50s. I'm just going to input some values here to get us up close to that amount that we're seeing. Okay, and then now for our cents, let's say, we're expecting 65 cents. But maybe I saw 2 quarters and 1 dime. You can see here now we're going to be off by 5 cents. That difference is going to be recorded, and you can have minimum and maximum values set, or a maximum value rather, where there might be additional steps in the closing process if you're outside of that threshold. And again, you can always close when you're closing the register. You can always lock that down to a managerial function as well. Now, because we had a difference in the cash that we counted, we're just getting this pop-up here. I can go ahead and proceed anyway. And then that is going to just log that difference in the books in the back end. So now I can go back into the back end of my system. Again, I'll input my PIN code so we can register, which employee is performing that work. And when we're closing a point of sale session, we're going to be generating a session report that you're going to be able to, either print out or download. And each one of those sessions is completely recorded. So you're going to be able to see a breakdown of all of the sales transactions. You can get insights into, what was the most popular product that day. How much did each employee sell, if you want to break it down by each employee. And each one of our applications is going to have this in-app reporting available. So for point of sale, it's things like orders, the sales details, session report, preparation time, whatever you may need to see from a point of sale side of things. Same thing's going to be true for our inventory application. We have our in-app reporting here. So for inventory, for example, we have our move history report. And this is going to be recording all of our stock moves. So whether that was a sale through one of our registers, as you can see here, those sunglasses that we sold and that heart necklace, when those went out to customers, we saw all of that be registered. Any negative quantities are going to be recorded in red, just signifying that that stock has left your facility. Also, any of our internal moves, so when we are, picking products or storing them, those are all going to be recorded as well. You can see when we moved this travel mug from aisle 2 into the order pickup zone. Anything that's a neutral inventory move, just moving it from one location to another, that's going to be in black. And then anything that is new inventory coming in, like when we registered that receipt for our knit scarf, that's going to be in green, as you can see here. Now, as I scroll down, you'll also be able to see, any, inventory adjustments that I may have made when you want your staff to go in and count the inventory that they have on hand. That will all be recorded within here as well. Now, the last thing that I will mention is going to be our dashboards application. So in addition to all of those in-app reporting options that you have, we also have this more administrative view for our dashboards report. This is going to give you basically a summary and a high-level view into all of your operations across the system. And this is a drill downable report as well. So while you're seeing these high-level trends, you're also able to drill down into specific records. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So here for sales, you can see, how many orders we had over the last 90 days. You can refine this down into just today as well. So anything that we did together, you'll be able to hone in on just that data. You can do the same thing for your point of sale. We have some accounting reports within here as well. As I go into purchase and vendor, you'll also be able to see any of the data that we're capturing for on-time deliveries, who you're purchasing the most from, what your lead times look like. And same thing with e-commerce, you'll be able to gain insight into your top products and what your top categories may be. Now, if I navigate back into that sales report here, you'll also be able to see, if I just set that back to our last 90 days, that for instance, these top sales orders, if I wanted to take a look at a specific record and see, this guy spent the most amount of money in a single order, I want to see what he purchased, you'll be able to click in and the system's going to redirect you completely to that sale order. So you can really, investigate and get to the bottom of why you're seeing certain trends as well. Okay, and it looks like to me that we don't have any additional questions in the chat that haven't been answered. So I want to thank you all, for your time and your attention over the last 40 minutes while we've gone through that product demonstration, and also Dan's overview of Odoo as an introduction. So thank you all for attending our webinar, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.